$1,400 or $2,000 fourth stimulus check. The good news and bad news about another check. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now this is a very popular topic and question that many of us are wondering right here in the community. Will there be a fourth stimulus check? If so, how much is it going to be? $1,400, $2,000, possibly more, possibly less. Who is it going to include? When are they going to decide on this? And how fast can we actually get it? Now, these are some really good questions, which I do want to discuss right here in the video as well. But I also want to talk about the good news and bad news about another check. We have a lot to talk about right here in the video, so let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate. I'm doing all the research each and every day, boiling it all down into these short videos so that you can stay tuned with what is really going on right now, what is being introduced, what is being discussed, and what is floating around out there in the headlines, as there's a lot going on. Things are changing rapidly, especially as it pertains to money, benefits, programs, checks, stimulus, raises, and so much more that continues to happen right here, right now. But I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any updates going forward during this very busy time, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side, helping you out in any way that I possibly can. All right, thanks again. Let's jump into it and discuss the good news and the bad news on another check. All right, so first off, let's talk about the good news, right? We always want to talk about the good news first. And then realistically, the bad news, honestly, isn't even that bad, because realistically, it's something that's probably going to happen anyway. So I just want to point it all out because it's all kind of intertwined, so highly correlated. We need to pay attention to all this. All right, so let's talk about the good news here. First off, over the last couple of months, we've seen multiple different pieces of legislation, multiple different lawmakers coming out, introducing different packages or pieces of legislation that include a one-time lump sum check, ongoing monthly payments, voucher programs, prepaid cards. I mean, seriously, if you can think about it, a tax rebate, a tax credit, all kinds of different things going out to those people who are struggling right now as a result of this massive inflation, rapidly rising gas prices, all kinds of things like this. There's been so many different pieces of legislation introduced. Now, at the same time, we're still waiting for Congress or all of these lawmakers to actually do something about it, but the fact of the matter is they are still very much supportive of either ongoing monthly checks, one-time lump sum payments, or some type of other relief going out to the people. This is what we want, right? If all of the lawmakers were just locked up and said, nope, we're not doing anything, that wouldn't be a very good sign, but rather all of these lawmakers, we've seen so many lawmakers here as of recently coming out, introducing all of this, in other words, saying, I'm very much in support of ongoing checks. I'm very much in support of a lump sum check. This is good stuff, right? All right, so that is one of the very good signs out there as well. Now, as of recently, with everything going on right now, which literally the situation is changing every single day when it comes to inflation, gas prices, and virtually everything else, supply chain issues, products on our store shelves, it's like literally changing every single day, and it's not necessarily getting better, right? So prices continue to rise on everything. Well, with all of that, there is increased support and talk about additional checks, relief going out to people, all kinds of different things as well, and what can actually be done right here, right now, with all this going on. So at the same time, I've also seen a number of different reports coming out citing the progress that these stimulus checks have actually had over the last 2 years. So over the last 2 years, well, to be fair, it's been more than 2 years now, but let's just call it 2.5 years now. Over the last 2.5 years, we've received 3 stimulus checks. Well, I've been seeing some reports coming out lately saying that these 3 stimulus checks prevented 11 million people from falling into poverty. Well, guess where we're going right now? Has anybody looked at the reports lately? I know that a lot of you here in this community are watching this stuff closely because we're talking about it every single day. But when it comes to the lawmakers and everybody else behind all this, they should probably look at this stuff, because with the current environment and what is currently going on right here, right now, unfortunately, a lot of people are slipping into poverty, and a lot more people are probably going to be in poverty as a result of all this rapidly rising inflation. So they should probably look at that, because this is a very key factor that we need to consider going forward, right? So this is something very important that we need to watch. So with all of this coming together, it's showing that yes, there are people out there saying we need something and we need intervention very, very quickly here, especially for the low income and fixed income, which again, we talk about here on the channel so often. And you know that I'm a huge advocate for sending out a highly focused, highly specified check for the low income and fixed income. Not everybody. Nope. I'm not saying everybody needs a check. No, I'm saying that the low income and fixed income of all the benefits that we talk about right here in the channel so often, like Social Security, retirement, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB, as well as low income, no income, seniors, older adults, and people with disabilities. These are the groups that need checks, right? We all know that. All right, so that is some of the good news. Now, let me mix in some of the good news along with some of the bad news. Now, here's what's going on right now. We know that we're basically watching the United States economy collapse right before our eyes. Now, is it something that we can do about it? No, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about this. It was an issue that started years ago. It's an issue that has basically been neglected here over the last couple years, and now the economy is going to start to pay for this. And what I mean by this is all of this rapidly rising inflation, the money printing, and virtually nothing being done about it, right? The same goes with gas prices. We've been seeing these gas prices tick up day after day after day, week after week, month after month for a very long time now, and nothing has been done about it. Now, as a result of that, we're starting to see the economy start to collapse on itself because nothing has been done about this. Well, that's what happens when something goes neglected like this. Unfortunately, we start to pay the price. And unfortunately, we, us, the people, are paying the price for bad policies. So here's what's happening. We're starting to see this going forward. But again, there's nothing we can do about it. We kind of need to just do what we can to kind of stay out of the way from, having stuff fall on us. So anyway, the whole point behind this is, as we continue to watch this whole thing, the whole house of cards collapse right now, right? The United States economy essentially falling right now. So as a result of that, we need to watch all this closely because it's all translating into what do they need to do going forward to get this inflation under control, to get interest rates under control, to get gas prices and energy under control, to get the supply chain fixed up and the necessary amount of products and things on our store shelves for all of us to buy, the potential food shortages that are coming not only here in the United States but globally as well as some other global situations that are going on right now. You can kind of see the stock market unraveling. I mean, seriously, there's so many different things that are converging right now, which I've been saying for a very long time. I've been saying, watch this. It's all highly correlated. It's all converging at the same time, and we're going to see this thing collapse. Well, we're watching it. It's all happening right here, right now. So gather around and let's watch the implosion. So that's what's going on. But as a result of this, we need to watch, one more thing I want to throw out there as well, rapidly rising COVID cases. I know this is something we don't really watch all that much anymore, but COVID cases are spiking once again all across the country. So yeah, there's something else we got to throw into the mix right now. But when it comes down to another check, we got to watch this very closely because I want to look back in history. Now again, we have to look at history simply because a lot of times history, number one, repeats, and if history does not repeat exactly, history at least leaves clues. So that's why we want to look back in history. Well, we want to look back to the last time that we had a major, basically collapse like what we're going to be witnessing right here, right now, which is back in 2008, 2009. We saw all of this kind of come crumbling down then too, right? So with the basically the housing market falling, that's also something that's happening right now as well. So we can add that to the list. But anyway, we saw this happening as a result of the housing market, 13 years or so ago. So we saw this happening. At the same time, we did see they came out and they passed an $800 billion package back then in 2008, 2009, and they also sent out highly focused $250 stimulus checks for all the fixed income beneficiaries that I mentioned just a couple minutes ago. So the whole point behind all this is, when it comes down to another check, the whole idea behind basically everything that we're witnessing right here, right now, may be giving birth to the next check going forward. Now I can throw this out there as well. The next check, if there happens to be a fourth stimulus check, it's highly not going to be focused around COVID. I highly doubt it's going to have anything to do with COVID this next time. It's probably going to be focused on getting the economy back up and running because it's like a car, right? The car, it's sputtering out on the side of the road. They got to do whatever they can to get this thing running again, and they got to get it back on the road and going 60 again. So that's kind of the whole point behind this is the next check, in the event of a fourth stimulus check, is probably not going to have anything to do with COVID, even though they may use that as an excuse because they don't want to admit that the economy is in a pretty bad shape right now. So they may use COVID as an excuse, but it's probably not going to have anything to do with COVID, but rather it's probably going to be all around the economy and how it needs a bunch of money pumped right back into it because of everything going on, right? So one more thing that I want to throw out as well. There's a lot of talk about there, and I've seen multiple articles on this talking about, a fourth check is going to cause massive inflation. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. Is a fourth check going to cause massive inflation? Depends. The great answer, right? Everybody loves that answer. It depends. Nobody likes that answer. Anyway, here's what it comes down to. If they were to send out a fourth stimulus check to 85% of the population like they did the last 3 times, then yes, a fourth stimulus check would probably cause quite a bit of inflation. So, do we anticipate that to happen? No. Highly doubt that would happen. However, in the event of a highly focused check, a very specified check for the low income and the fixed income, that would maybe go out to maybe 40 million, 50 million people, maybe tops 55 to 60 million people. Tops. I think that would be way top of the line. I realistically think it would probably be way more closer to about 40 to 50 million. Tops again, but that's just kind of my estimates based on what I'm looking at. In the event of sending out a check to that small group of people, would that cause rapid inflation? Would it cause 3% inflation? Probably not. It may pump up inflation, maybe 1%, not that much. Here's what they figured based on the reports. They actually anticipated that over the last 2.5 years, the last 3 checks that we received increased inflation by 3%. Well, those 3 checks encompassed about $850 billion, actually a little bit less than $850 billion, and it went out to 85% of the population. We'd be talking about now all of these checks going out to maybe like 12% of the population, and it would be encompassing about $100 billion. So you can see maybe $150 billion tops once again. So you can see here, there are dramatic differences. Is it going to cause inflation? Probably very minimal, if any at all, because it would be highly focused and it would only be sent out to those individuals who are low income or fixed income. And it may not even be $1,400 or $2,000. It could be $1,000. It could be $800. It could be $500. Not really sure what it may be, but these are some of the ideas behind all this. Some of the good news and bad news all wrapped up into this. And you can kind of see here, whether we want it or not, the economy is going to do what it's going to do. And the trajectory of it right now, and again, this is not just me saying this. This is basically everybody out there right now is saying, look out below because it's coming down, right? So anyway, is it the worst thing in the world? It may not be the worst thing in the world because it's going to bring prices down. It's going to bring, this inflation down. It's going to bring prices down on virtually everything. Hopefully, it's going to open up the availability for a lot of things, as well as it may even issue additional checks for the low income and fixed income. Anyway, hope this one kind of gives you a better idea of what is really going on right now. There's a lot of moving parts. As I've said so many times, it's all highly, highly correlated. Whether you care about the economy or not, we still got to pay attention to it because this is pretty much the dog that is wagging the tail right now. Anyway, hope you like that one. Anyway, hope you're having a nice day so far. Thanks again for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos right here on the channel. And as always, until next time, please enjoy your day. Have a good one, and please remember, I'm always here for you in any way that I possibly can be. I'm right here by your side. That's my dedication and commitment. So enjoy. Until next time, have a good one, and I'll catch you again later.